Hi everyone. So last week I went to go see Independence Day Resurgence, and since today is Independence Day, I thought it'd be a good chance to do a review for you all. Yeah, it's been a while. So this is a sequel to Independence Day, which came out 20 years ago, and it's basically the aliens come back. That's pretty much the whole plot of the film. I mean, not really much to it. It is basically like a rehashed version of the first film because 20 years, technology is going to improve, and it is meant to be an even better film. I was quite looking forward to this. I mean, I'm a fan of the first film. It was just a big action movie. It's not the greatest movie ever made, but it was a damn fine action movie. It had laughs, it had wit, it had good characters, it had great action, and all that jazz. And for a '90s film, the effects really hold up well today. I mean, if I go and see the first film again, I'll probably wind up going, oh boy, these effects really haven't aged that well. But from what I can remember, the effects have aged quite well. Resurgence. Where do I begin? So, like I said, it's 20 years after the events of the first film, and they're holding a big Memorial Day-esque memorial for what happened 20 years ago. They always refer to it as just 20 years ago. They really should have actually given a name for what happened. Like everyone knows World War One, World War Two, Battle of the Somme. There's always like a name to link these things rather than just saying, oh, that event that happened 35 years ago. But anyway, that's a really minor detail. The movie's biggest strength is its special effects because they are top notch, like they were in the first film. Well, for the time it was made, but in an age where CGI is getting better and better, you really have to push the boat. And to be fair to them, they did. The action in this movie really looked good, and that famous scene from the first film with the White House getting blown up, that is now being replaced by this ship just engulfing the entire Earth, which was pretty impressive. Yeah, especially when Jeff Goldblum's character is looking at it going, that is definitely bigger than the last one, which was good. And yes, I'll get on to characters now, because as you all know, Will Smith wasn't in this film, and I was talking to a friend about this film, and he asked me if it missed Will Smith, and I'm kind of thinking it depends on what performance he gives, because if he gives an After Earth performance, then no, the movie definitely didn't miss him. But if he gave one as good as the first film, I think they could have done with him back, in all honesty. I mean, I was just happy that Jeff Goldblum was back, because he was my favourite character from the first film, and yeah, he was my favourite character again in the second film. He's not actually in it an awful lot. I know that probably sounds weird, but for me, he actually wasn't in it enough, and I'll get to the reason why in a minute. Let's see, you got some new characters. Let me just get my notebook of destiny. You have Will Smith's characters. I can't remember the original characters' names. It's been so long since I saw the original. Dylan, who is the son of Will Smith's character, who is played by Jesse T. Usher. And yeah, he was alright for what it was. I couldn't really see anything wrong with his performance. You've got Liam Hemsworth, aka Gale from the Hunger Games, coming in as Jake. Again, he was good. I mean, personally, I think he was better in the Hunger Games. I think he gave a better performance there. But reason for that is coming up. Micah Monroe as Patricia Whitmore, daughter of President Whitmore. Yeah, a bit conflicted as to what I thought of her. I think it was probably down to her character. I think they kind of made her a little bit annoying, really. And that's the shame of it, is the main problem I have with this film is I was under the impression when I saw the trailer that the only remaining characters coming back from the first film were going to be Jeff Goldblum's character and President Whitmore, because you'd seen him in the trailer. But my God, there are a lot of characters from the first film. You've got Dylan's mum, Will Smith's wife in the first film. You've got the mad scientist who's in a coma. You got the mad scientist's friend. Who else do we have? Jeff Goldblum's dad, which actually was a very good addition. That was one of my more favourite parts of the movie. And I don't know, it's like they retained a lot of characters from the first film and they were introducing a lot of new characters. Like, not making them main characters, but there were just so many new characters flying about the place. And to be honest, it's a lot to try and actually cram all of that into just 2 hours. You know, it doesn't actually give you that huge amount of time. And I think that's the movie's biggest problem. Oh no, actually, second biggest problem. Biggest problem is coming up in a bit. But, you know, for me, the film kind of felt like it wasn't like a progressive storyline. It felt like it was very much scene by scene by scene, like, what's happening with Dylan? Oh, we better find out what's happening to the scientists. And then it was kind of like going along to all the, checking in to all the different characters to see how they're doing. And I know, the story just kind of got muddled up in that structure. I mean, maybe if it was done like a TV series where you've got 10-hour-long episodes to play with, then it could have worked. But for a film, they really needed to trim the fat, as it were, with this film, because there were so many characters to focus on that I couldn't get emotionally invested in whatever they were doing, because, you know, you don't spend enough time on them. You know, from one minute you're going from a space battle with Dylan and Jake, then you're going to the mad scientist trying to open up this this alien sphere. Spoiler alert. Well, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but you know there's going to be a sphere in it, so yeah. But I will call this a minor spoiler, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, and I was just kind of sitting there, just kind of going through the motions, as it were. It just didn't feel like the movie was flowing together all that nicely. And that brings me to the biggest problem with this film. I have a stat here. Let me grab my notebook again. Okay. So in 1996, the budget for Independence Day was $75 million. And then the budget for Resurgence was $165 million. And I guarantee you, not 1 cent was spent on the script. Oh my God, that script was so bad. It was really, 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 really bad. And there were 5 writers. Well, no, actually, well, according to IMDb, it said it was 9 credited writers, but that's, you know, counting in story writers and then the actual screenwriters. But, oh, man. And Roland Emmerich is one of the screenwriters, and I was looking through the credits of some of the other ones, and 3 out of the 4 other ones, apart from Roland Emmerich, they're all predominantly actors. And I'm just thinking, for such a big budget Hollywood film, why are they putting the writing in the hands of people who are trained to be actors, not screenwriters? You know, and to think 5 people wrote this script, and I mean, okay, it's not meant to be the greatest film ever made. It's supposed to be what the first film was, which was just an enjoyable action movie. And okay, Independence Day was over the top, and, you know, you didn't take it seriously, but part of its appeal was down to the script, because it was actually entertaining. You know, it had funny moments like Will Smith saying "Welcome to Earth" and all that sort of stuff. Whereas in Resurgence, it was like the script was trying to be funny, but it just wasn't working. It's like within 10 minutes of a film, you get a good idea as to whether you're going to enjoy this or not. And, okay, maybe it wasn't within the first 10 minutes, but whatever. But when we're introduced to Liam Hemsworth's character, Jake, he is up on the moon, setting up a big laser on the moon. Dr. Evil got his wish to have a giant frickin' laser on the moon. And, yeah, which I think was very clever, actually. They set up this planetary defense system, which was actually quite an interesting concept. But anyway, Jake's character, Jake is the character. He works on this sort of spaceship version of a tugboat with this giant laser, and they're basically setting it up to lodge it into place. And things inevitably go wrong. And in between all this action, there are all these little sort of quippy lines between him and his shipmate, whose name I can't remember, but the character was just so annoying I can't be bothered to remember him. And it goes on like that for the entire movie, and I'm sitting there watching this stuff on the moon, and there was about 5 quips. You know, like when the action's going on and the character just blurts something out, probably to just have the character say something while all this crap's going wrong. And, you know, it didn't even get a half-hearted chuckle out of me, and I'm kind of sitting there thinking, oh dear. But what can you do? What can you do? I mean, that it is what it is. And Roland Emmerich, it's hard. His track record is a little samey, like End of Days kind of vibes. Because you got Independence Day, you got Godzilla, Day After Tomorrow, and Independence Day Resurgence. And honestly, out of those 4 films, Resurgence is probably by far the worst. Out of them, the script just didn't work at all. It had its moments. It genuinely had its moments. Best moments are its action, and the scene where Jeff Goldblum gets reunited with his dad towards the end of the film, which was just the most entertainment in the whole film. But that was like 10 minutes out of a 2-hour movie. So, yeah, it's probably one of the more disappointing films of this year so far. And it garners a 31% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which is low. I mean, I would consider a 7 out of 10 on IMDb to be a disappointment for a film that I was looking forward to, but 5.6, that is low. That is pretty low. So, the rating I would give it would be a 6 out of 10. Or was it 5? Actually, no, we'll go with 5. 5 seems much more appropriate. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm sorry it's been a long time since I did one of these, but, you know, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So, next on the agenda is Central Intelligence. That is the film I was after, and I'm very much looking forward to that film. So, hopefully, I will see you when I give you my thoughts on Central Intelligence.